Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Dr. Laura Dabney here. We're talking about parenting for the last few videos. This is the last one in this series. More specifically, how to abandon those toxic parent traits so you can be a better parent. These toxic parent traits are ones I see all the time, and I've talked in this will be the fourth video in the series of what they are, the traits, and how to get rid of them. So I started with a archive video about how about demanding things from children is a toxic trait you need to get rid of and why. Then I talked about overindulging. That's had a little secret component to it. You can check that out. And then I talked about trying to forcing a child to take care of you and why that's so toxic. And then now today, I want to talk about trying to control your child. This is sort of a hybrid, which is kind of interesting. Most people know that controlling your child is not a good thing. Most people would agree on that. But the problem is, you all convince yourself it's not control. You convince yourselves it's necessary to help them, right? And so you've kidded yourself and you go ahead and try to control them, and it hurts the relationship and it hurts the child's development, okay? So it's just very interesting that we start with a child who's newly born. You do have to look for all the potential problems, future problems, and take control of the child. You got to move the child, take something out of its mouth, put him there, put him here. You're controlling them, okay? But by the time the child is in middle school, you should be doing much, much less of that, not more, or the same amount, which a lot of you try to do. So pulling away on all that, parents get very anxious that a child's going to be hurt. That's the number one reason I hear parents trying to step in. But you are pretending that's still a young child. You're pretending that you can predict the future. And your child's smart enough now to know that you aren't. So they're going to be very resentful that you think you know their future, especially when they're out and about, their friends, their school, their teachers, but you know what's going to happen. And then you want to control them, tell them what to do to keep that from happening. So it's a double whammy for them. They're like, well, I don't want to do what you want to do. Okay. And why is that? Because your main job at that point isn't the same as when they're little infants. It's now to protect and help them with their cognitive, emotional, and relational development. Their biggest job, their biggest component of all that is to be separate from you. Okay. And that means doing things differently from you. So you are in conflict with that when you are trying to force them to do something your way or the way you do it. Okay. And you also aren't helping them with all the new cognitive skills they're trying to learn, relationships they're trying to develop, or the emotions that they're learning how to express. You're just jumping in there and taking over. It's stalling all those developmental pathways. Okay, so you also don't want your kids. So I understand a lot of you also don't want your child to feel abandoned, like you're not there at all. So where's the sweet spot between taking them over and abandoning them? Well, it's called asking questions. This is a great way to get those wheels turning, to get a relationship with your child, start expressing your emotions so they know how to do it. It's helping them with all the developmental levels. All right? Not taking them over because you're getting them to come up with the idea themselves and maybe teaching you a few things. And you're also not abandoning them because you're interested. Not taking over, you're interested. So let's take one here all the time, oh, he's got a bad grade, he's gonna fail, he's gonna never be able to make it, he's not get in college, he's gonna be a bum on the street and die. Really? I've heard y'all, you do this, gonna have a bad grade, and his world is going to end in some way. All right, so really, really exaggerated and over the top, and there's no room for your child in there. Instead, how would you want your child to express whatever emotion it is you have there when he has a wife one day or a child one day? Right? You don't want to blubber all over the place and pretend they know the whole story and then what to do about it. You want them to be able to say, look, I'm a little anxious about your grades in this class. You've had 2 failing grades. What's going on? That's how you address it with them. Think about it. Well, either going to tell you, oh, I talked to the teacher and we're going to do this and we're all set. Like, oh, okay. You pat yourself on the back, your kid's moving right along with all that. Great. If they're not, then you want to ask more questions. I don't know. You don't know? Is it not concerning to you? Is it something you just don't want to think about? Well, I don't know. I don't want to think about it. I just hate school and I don't want to deal with it and I don't want to do it. Well, what happens when someone doesn't do their schoolwork? Is this the only approach to not think about it? Is there something else you could do that would help you in this not liking school and not liking this class or not wanting to study? And if they go down the path of, I don't know, well, they might need you then. Okay, that's a sign, but at least you know now. You're not just predicting something bad's happening. There's something not going on here. They're not thinking, not coming up with some solutions. So you want to help them by then giving him options. All right. So, well, do you want help with this? Would you like my help on this? Ask if they want your help. Again, that helps from feeling invaded. They say, well, yeah, I guess, I don't know what to do. Say, well, here's some things that come to mind. Talking to the teacher, getting a tutor, asking me to help you, or do flashcards or something. Any of those work for you? Right. So they might even start adding options at that point. You get them going. Okay, yeah, and you want to, okay, well, that's an option. You always want to consider their options, even if you think it's stupid or whatever your criticism of it is. It's not about that. It's about their wheels turning. That's the important thing. Get wrapped up in their grades, the sports team, their friendships, what they're wearing and doing, and opposed to their development. Right. So whatever they say, okay, well, that's an option. So what do you think? You want to take it and run? Okay, yeah, I've got it from here. Okay, well, let me know if you need my help in the future. All right. So let them go down that path, even if you know it's going to be wrong, even if it's going to end up badly, because what happens then? Let's say they fail and they come back and they're all upset about it, like you're so afraid it's going to, wither up and have some horrible problem about this. Okay, well, help them use the words, that you want them to be able to say. Are you upset? Are you angry? What's wrong? Let them tell you, and then what? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Empathy. Want them to learn that. What can I do, or is there any way I can help you? Is there something you what's your plan? And as you help them figure out the plan and they get out of this problem, that's the gold star. That's the gold star right there. Right? They've solved the problem. That means they now have confidence they can solve their own problems without you. Yes, it hurts. But that's what you want them to learn because that's what you're there to teach them as a parent, as painful as it is. Now they know they can solve their own problems. They're more likely to be able to solve them without you. Gives them self-esteem. It gives them confidence. And that's what makes for a healthy child. Okay? All the developmental levels. So don't try to control your child. It really doesn't ever help. In fact, it hurts because, again, if the child is needing to be different from you, if it's your idea, all they think is, oh my gosh, I'm my mom. It's her idea. I'm my mom. Nobody wants that, right? They want to be they don't want to be an old lady. They want to be a young kid in their own selves and be separate from you. So it's almost the opposite. If you tell them what you want them to do, there's a really high chance they're not going to do it now. So lead them to it with questions, much more successful. I wish you all the luck in the world with parenting. It's a very hard job. If you need help, we are here, 757-340-8800.